once again to my backyard. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to do MrMegaFredZeppelin's music tag. And I got a lot to say about this, so I'm probably going to go on for quite some time. If you don't want to watch a long, boring video, you might as well tune out right now because that's what I'm into. Anyway, I want to say, first of all, thanks to MrMegaFredZeppelin for having this music tag. I have to tell you a little bit about MrMegaFred and me. We go back a long way. We go back to, he was one of the first 500 subscribers to my channel, and he was with me. He gave me moral support, and all through the life and short life and death of my grandson Gavin. And MrMegaFred was there for me, and I appreciate it, MrMegaFred. I really do. I'll never forget you for that. And like I said, he was one of my first subscribers. He's a great guy. He had the most amazing YouTube channel, and YouTube took it down. They took it away from him, completely ruined his channel. He had the most amazing graphics and stuff on his channel, and they just ruined it. But anyway, I wanted to thank MrMegaFred. I'm doing this backwards. I'm doing it my way, okay? I'm not going by the rules. I want to thank Christy's cooking channel, for tagging me, because when I first saw this, I said to MrMegaFred, I said, I'm a little hurt that you didn't tag me. He says, I know someone will tag you. Lucky for me, Christy's got my back. She's a great woman, a great cook. I want you to go check out Christy's cooking channel and subscribe to her channel. And I want to, before I get started, I want to do my 3 tags right now, because one of the people I'm going to tag is probably going to tune me out pretty shortly here when I start talking about his music. And the first person is Dan Robertson, Mr. Smokey Goodness. I want you to do a music tag, Dan. I'm really interested in what you have to say. Dan and I have very similar tastes, very eclectic tastes. And except for the blood rock, I'm not really into blood rock as much as Dan is. But I have my personal likes that I like, just as Dan has his favorites. And I'll be interested to see what he has to say. Also, I want to hear from Troy, T-Roy Cooks. T-Roy, you know him, he's the Space Cowboy, so you know he's going to put Steve Miller in there somewhere. And Texas, because he's from Texas, so he does Texas. And the third one is Lyle, No Hippie BBQ. Lyle, when you hear what I have to say about rap music, you're going to tune this out, and that'll be the end of it. So, all right, let's get to the questions right off the bat. So MrMegaFred asks, overall, what's your favorite kind of music? Well, I think to mean that, what's your favorite genre of music? And I have to say that it'd be easier for me to say what I don't like than it would be to say what I do like, because through my life, things have changed in my life. I started out probably like most people. I was a high school kid, and I listened to pop music, like the Beatles and the Stones, and that's what was popular at the time. That's what I listened to. But then psychedelic music came along, and that became my reason for being, like Eric Clapton, Iron Butterfly, that kind of stuff, Jefferson Airplane. I love that stuff. And then as years went by, my taste progressed. Of course, my musical listening habits changed, and I started listening to more varied things. I got into jazz at one point in my life, where I was really into jazz a lot. Miles Davis, John McLaughlin, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, and Al Di Meola, another one, and also, I said Miles Davis, Coleman Hawkins, Charlie Yardbird Parker. I like bebop. I listen to bebop. My son, who's a 30-something-year-old, whatever they are, millennials, he doesn't understand bebop. He thinks it's just a bunch of noise. Well, it takes a little bit of intelligence, Charles, to understand bebop. So I understand where you're coming from. You got a little bit, you're missing a piece up there. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, just kidding you, buddy. Love you. Anyway, so my favorite overall kind of, or genre of music that I listen to would be what you would call classic rock. The Doors, Beatles, the Stones, that kind of stuff, classic rock. But my favorite band of all time is Procol Harum. And I'm going to skip to the last question, something that people may not know about me, which is I'm the moderator of my own subreddit on Reddit called r_Procol_Harum. I'll put a link in the description so you can go check it out on Reddit. I'm the moderator. I put all the content there, and I've got almost everything that Procol Harum has ever recorded on my subreddit. So that brings us to my buddy Ken. So we got to talk about Ken. Stay tuned. So a while back, my buddy Ken from Heavy Metal BBQ sent me a beer in the mail. He sent me a pumpkin spice ale. And my hatred of pumpkin spice is legendary on the internet. I think everybody in the world knows that I hate it. So the other day I got a package from him. He sent me this beer. This is Gus from the Full Pint Brewing Company, New Versailles, Pennsylvania, and that's where Ken lives. Gus is an India Pale Ale, and I guess Gus is the dude on the label. I hope you can see that, who's playing a Stratocaster. But I'm going to crack into this right now, Ken. Ken, you didn't have to send me this. Ken sent me a note. He says, "I hope this makes up for the pumpkin spice bullshit." I said, Ken, I turned that pumpkin spice into a barbecue sauce, and it was awesome. And I'm looking at this, a beautiful IPA, 8% alcohol. It's a little high for me, but let's quaff the froth off it, Ken. Thank you, Ken, for the beer. And we got to talk about Ken. Let me just take a taste of this. Excellent. Ken, you should be drinking this instead of that crap you drink. Anyway, Ken did the music tag also, and his one of his answers to his favorite guitarist was Robin Trower. Now you may or may not know this, but Robin Trower is one of the founding members and lead guitar for Procol Harum. So I know Robin Trower, and I like Robin Trower's solo work too, but I really dug him with Procol Harum. He was a great guitarist. He still is. He still tours, I think. So while we're talking about guitarists, I wanted to talk about Stevie Ray Vaughan, who's a monster. He died. Also, I wanted to throw out some names that you may not have heard. You might not have heard of Rusty Cooley. Rusty Cooley's an amazing guitar player. I bet Tango Joe would like to hear some Rusty Cooley, because Tango Joe, I just watched his answer tag, and Tango Joe's got some really weird tastes in music, but he knows what's what. You know, you can tell he knows his crap. I was going to tag him, but Bettag beat me to it, and I'm pissed, because I was going to tag Tango Joe. But anyway, yeah, Robin Trower, Procol Harum is they're my world. My world revolves around Procol Harum the way Dan Robertson loves Blood Rock. I love Procol Harum. So my favorite guitarists, you know, I like the usual guys: Eric Clapton, Page, Beck, what have you. Who did I just say a little while ago? I got CRS, Booger, just like you. I got CRS bad. What was I thinking? Robin Trower. Okay, so Ken mentioned Robin Trower in his music tag. Okay, next is your favorite bassist. Now, the bassist for Procol Harum was not that remarkable, to be honest with you. And my favorite bassist, I have to say, is Jack Bruce of the Cream. He's a multi-instrumentalist and a great vocalist. And I want to talk about vocalists because a lot of people play an instrument and sing at the same time. To me, that's amazing. That just blows me away, how you could have both of those talents and combine them and do the singing along with the music playing. And someone else who does that is Levon Helm of the band. He plays drums and sings like Phil Collins. But my favorite drummer comes from Procol Harum, B.J. Wilson. He just died here a couple of years ago. B.J. Wilson has the most distinctive style of drumming. He's amazing. You got to go to my subreddit and check out some Procol Harum tunes with B.J. Wilson on drums. And one of the other questions was favorite vocalists, and that brings me to my hatred of country music, because I have to tell you a little story. It's kind of a long story. I gotta take a swig. When I met my wife 15 years ago, you know, I was trying to be a cool dude, and I was trying to get in her pants. So whenever we were in the car, she liked this nouveau country music, what passes for country music now. Now I like country music. I like classic country, Charlie Pride, Chet Atkins, CRS, baby. CRS, how could I forget the name of the man in black, Johnny Cash. And also, what you might consider nouveau country is Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Willie Nelson, okay? That's great music. But the shit that passes for country music nowadays, it sucks so hard and so bad. I can't stand anybody whose name is Chestnut or Paisley. Those are fake made-up names to make you think of country things, chestnuts and Paisley. You know, those aren't country. And the biggest poser, who I hate the most, is named Kid Rock. And when I heard Kid Rock on the country music station one day, I was in the car with my wife, and I was punching the button on the radio. I almost put my fist through the dashboard. I couldn't turn it off fast enough. Kid Rock, what a poser. He took Warren Zevon's song, Werewolves of London, and put different lyrics to it, and called it his own. Asshole. I hate him. I hate Kid Rock. But that's not what eventually completely soured me to the nouveau country. We're driving down the road, and on comes this woman. I don't even know her name, but she sings one of the greatest rock and roll songs, which was originally sung by one of the greatest rock and roll vocalists, a woman named Janis Joplin, who I happen to hold in high regard. And this woman comes on, she's, "Oh, come on, take another little piece of my heart now, baby." And I'm like, what the hell is that? I looked at my wife and I said, "We're engaged to be married. The engagement's off. We're done. No more country music. That's it." I turned that radio station off. I almost broke the volume knob off of it. When I heard that, it was like a knife in my heart. "Come on, take another little piece of my heart now, baby." Oh, please, give me a break. It's not country. It's not good. It sucked. I hated it. I'm still mad to this day about it. It's 15 years later. I'm pissed. So yeah, vocalist Janis Joplin. What a great voice. What an expressive, wonderful blues singer, Janis Joplin. And another guitarist I have to mention, who's also a bassist, who's also a vocalist, is Greg Lake, who passed away here a couple of years ago, for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And that brings us to keyboard players, because Keith Emerson, one of the greatest keyboard players of all time, and also Carl Palmer, one of the greatest drummers of all time. So what else we got here? We did drummers, we did vocalists, we did bands and artists. But we did what the one thing people don't know about me is about the subreddit that I moderate called r_procol_harem. If you want to look on Reddit for it, I'll put a link in the description. I'd like you to go to it and listen to some Procol Harum music, because a lot of people don't know that Procol Harum had a big hit in the 60s back with Whiter Shade of Pale. And it was such a monster hit that they never rebounded from it. They were never able to top it or make it better. So, you know, they kind of lapsed into obscurity, but they never stopped making music. Just like Blood Rock. Blood Rock had a big hit with DOA, and they continued to make music, but you haven't heard of the Blood Rock tunes that, that like Dan knows. Oh, sorry. Good beer. Good beer, Ken. Thank you. Excellent. That's a good IPA. So, I just want to talk a little bit about my channel. You probably don't want to hear this. You're probably tuning out right now. I've already tagged my 3 tags. I told you my favorite kind of music and band and guitarist and bassist and drummer, vocalist, favorite artist. And I told you the thing that people don't know about the subreddit on Reddit, Procol Harum. I want to talk a little bit about my channel. I'm publishing this video today. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. And you can see my smoked cheese video tomorrow at 3:30. Next week, I'm doing something with my son-in-law. We're building a pit and smoking a whole 60-pound pig. And I hope to have that video up a week from tomorrow. That'll be my Christmas video. And then a week from that, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll cook something good. Or if I don't, I'll drink a beer. You know, that's what I always say anyway. So, yeah, that's it. That's my music tag. I won't bore you anymore. I've bent your ear long enough. I told you a bunch of stupid stories. But you know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about rap music. And this is the part where Lyle's going to shut this crap. I started talking about rap and my camera just shut off. So anyway, I said, this is the part where Lyle's going to turn this out because he likes rap music. He likes hip-hop. I can't stand that crap. That stuff, it has nothing to recommend it to me. I mean, it's just a bunch of nothing. It's like drums and poetry. You want to call it poetry, call it poetry. You want to call it beats, call it beats. But don't call it music. It's not music, it's crap. C-R-A-P, not R-A-P. Sorry, Lyle, I apologize. You know, music is objective. Every different person experiences it in a different way. And I know where you're coming from, because you're a black dude, and you came up in the, you know, in the times of straight out of Compton and all that kind of crap. But for me, it just does absolutely nothing for me. So it's okay. So we went over what I liked. We went over what I didn't like. We talked a little bit about my channel and what's coming up tomorrow and the week after. And I want to say to my subscribers and my friends, everybody watching, Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas. We'll see you back here on the new year with new videos. Well, we'll see you tomorrow with a new video, and the next week another new video. We're going to build a pit and cook a pig. You don't want to miss that. And don't forget, Dan, T. Roy, and Lyle, I've tagged you, and now I expect you to make answer tags to MrMegaFredZeppelin's music tag. Mr.MegaFred Zeppelin, rock on, baby. Rock on. You're the best, dude. Ken, thanks for the beer, dude. Christy, thank you for tagging me. I was afraid no one else would. And Tango Joe, man, you missed it by one day, buddy. I was going to tag your butt. Anyway, all right, we'll see y'all later. Oh, one more thing I want to say. I was watching Big Lews BBQ, and he talked a little about bluegrass. I love Jerry Garcia and David Grisman when they did the solo thing. It's kind of bluegrassish kind of thing. And I wanted to tell you, if you like bluegrass, you got to check out this band called Hayseed Dixie. They do AC/DC songs in a bluegrass country style. You got to check that out. All right, let me leave you with that. Come back tomorrow and watch my smoked cheese video. Come back next week and watch me cook a whole pig with my son-in-law Dennis. And stay tuned to the Root Boy Cooks. Good things are happening. More things are happening. All right, babies. Bye. Rock on.